And I think that it really goes. It's interesting in MMA. It's like the little brother syndrome because I think the younger brother ends up being the better fighter. If like two brothers get involved in something, the younger brother ends up being more skilled.
Yeah.
Because if you take a look at an example like Nick and Nate Diaz, arguably Nate is the more accomplished. I mean, he's the younger brother, more accomplished, got more done really in his career. I would say so. And then if we take a look at, I guess a similar example is the Anthony Pettis and Sergio Pettis. I guess Andy Pettis was lightweight champion, but now Sergio Pettis was like a multiple time like champion in like other organizations like in Bellator and things like that. But I would say that that Sergio is actually the more skilled technician, whereas Anthony was the more flashy kind of explosive guy. And I think that's kind of the dynamic that Habib and Islam have. I think Habib's the better athlete. And he's the more dominant in that kind of regards. But in being so dominant, he looks better in terms of that because he knows what he needs to do. He knows he needs to take someone to the ground and beat them up, which makes them more impressive.
Smash your boys.
Yeah. That's why he looks. Whereas, like, I feel not that Islam is a bad athlete, but compared to Habib, he's not the same kind of. That's not the same kind of machine.
Yeah,
in terms of that, and I think that kind of. But in doing so, because he doesn't quite have the athletic horsepower, he has to be more skilled, and I think that also develops the styles because these guys train with each other. Habib probably beat up Islam so much in the training room that Islam had to get slicker because of that, and I think that's the same thing with Nick and Nate. Like Nick probably beat up Nate so often that he had to gain these other auxiliary skills.